Hey, I'm Jason from bowhuntingroad.com. I was out doing a little shed hunting on this glorious spring day, and I wanted to talk briefly about the boots that I use this season. I had the opportunity to try the LaCrosse Aerohead boot, and I use these boots exclusively from the first weekend of October till the last weekend of January. And to say they perform flawlessly, well, I wasn't let down, let me say that. These are the 18-inch high, basically call them a knee boot. They weigh about 5 pounds, which is fairly light considering how strong and well built these boots are. These are a 7mm neoprene liner. They don't use Insulate. As some people know, neoprene has very good insulating qualities to it. So they also offer it in, I believe, a 3 or 3.5, which may be better suited for somebody living further down south. These 7mm, they're fairly thick, as you can see. These boots provided ample warmth this year, especially during those late season months where the temperatures dropped and to the teens and single digits sometimes. This was probably one of the first years since I've lived in the Midwest that I can remember that I did not have cold feet. That's usually a problem. It's one of the first things to get cold, but I can honestly say I didn't have an issue with that this year. And we all know that being comfortable on stand is probably one of the biggest keys to success. These boots kind of have a neoprene base. That coupled with what they're calling an Aeroform insole provides an unbelievable level of comfort. Not to over exaggerate, but I'd compare these boots to a high-end hiking boot or even a running shoe for that matter. Like I said, these boots have been my go-to boot since I received them last September. That includes everything from hanging stands to scouting to hunting to shed hunting today. And my feet never get tired and they never get fatigued. I work underground construction, so I wear industrial steel toe rubber boots for a living, and that's 50 to 60 hours a week. So to wear a rubber boot that's actually comfortable is definitely a change of pace. Another thing that I noticed with these boots compared to others in the past is there's no essentially break-in period. I took these boots out of the box and I hit the trail hanging stands or scouting, whatever it was, and I had no discomfort whatsoever. So that's highly important to know, because sometimes you get a boot, especially a hunting boot, and you want to keep them scent free, and you don't wear them to break them in or anything. Well, these boots, that's not the case. You could literally take these out of the box and hike and not have absolutely any problems. Another important factor in buying a boot is durability. It's obvious looking at this boot that LaCrosse had this in mind when they were doing the design. This boot has got a polyurethane overmolded shell, and what that does is that provides extra security over the top of your foot and your shin area. As a matter of fact, the only damage that these boots have sustained all season was on a bow hunting trip to Iowa. I tripped on a strand of barbed wire in the dark, and it tore into the polyurethane shell. I was a little worried at first, but I hunted for another 2.5 months of the season and the boots never leaked. And there's one particular stand that I have to get in is navigate a fairly deep creek crossing. As a matter of fact, the only time that these boots had gotten wet was when I underestimated that same crossing, and I got some leakage into my boot. But I ended up hunting that evening, even though the temperatures were in the 20s, and with wet pants and socks, the neoprene still provided plenty of warmth to allow me to sit several hours on stand. These boots also have a non-loading, lightweight rubber outsole. Not only does that, give you comfort wearing a lighter boot, but they don't hold material in the lugs, kind of like some boots do. And as soon as you start to get material filling up in there, naturally it decreases your traction, and it could add a little bit of extra weight. But you can see I've been out. I probably put 2 miles on these boots this morning, and the bottoms are clean. There's nothing in there. This boot has they call armor weld seams. That's where it's welded between the polyurethane and the the actual neoprene. Some boots have several seams coming down across the bottom. That's not the case with this. This is all pretty much one solid piece, so you're not going to have that failure that you see in some of the other boots. And that's usually one of the first places where leaks generate from. Lastly, I want to talk about the ease of getting these boots on and off. I know a lot of us have struggled with higher rubber boots over the year. These boots pull on. It's almost comparable to putting on a big sock. And then, you know, what's important is after a long day hunting, you know you're fatigued. If you've been doing a lot of hiking, your legs are tired. These boots, even though they're an ankle fit boot and they stay tight to your foot, they come off fairly easy. They also have this lug on the back of the heel to give you some traction when you're taking them off. So if you're in the market for a good boot this year, I highly recommend the LaCrosse Aerohead boot. These are a durable boot. They're very comfortable, and they would last you for several seasons. So get out to a LaCrosse dealer and try a pair on. I guarantee it, you won't be disappointed.